Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Happy Thanksgiving. It's November 22nd. One more day of open markets. We're going to look at SPY, UNG, GME. I actually flipped today. I flipped from yesterday on a lot of my stance. We'll get into that. And some futures, some options. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. Follow us on Twitter at HappyMoneyYT and get on the Discord server. Link for those in the description. Thanks for watching. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. IWM here. I was trading the futures on that, so I've been watching that a little bit. SPY, big rip up today. So I flipped. I saw the divergence on SPY, and I thought this is probably the end for the end of the rally for a bit at least, and it looks like that divergence is going to just not play out. And one thing that was a bullish indicator was just how hard it bounced off this support the other day, and I thought, you know, that's okay. It still doesn't really matter. It still was pretty weak. We're in now low volume mode coming into the holidays. But the fact that it just kind of kept holding up, and this drop, I mean, maybe this drop was. That was maybe the drop from the divergence, but I was kind of expecting a longer, more sustained downward trend, but maybe that was it, because we got that drop and basically rallied and just kind of held support here. And now it's like a bull flag and looks like it's wanting to break out, which it kind of is. So I flipped actually this morning, just with how bullish it's been the last couple days since we had that divergence. How it's kind of held that support, how it bounced off of this. Why is that fib there? What in the world? Did it just move him? Yeah, I'm not sure. But, oh, did it just add a fib? Let's get rid of that. Yeah, so how it bounced, and then just seeing how it's holding support so well made me think, you know what, this divergence might not actually play out. And so I flipped. I had my shorts on the SPY as well as, well, GME didn't have shorts on, but I'd closed some of my longs on GME just because, yeah, we'll get into GME in a second. Actually, this is kind of crazy. But yeah, right about here, I flipped and basically did one order, closed my shorts and turned them into longs. And so those worked out well. We realized over G today on the futures, rolled those up. Put a stop limit after we had some pretty good gains on it. I don't even know where I closed out the first ones. Kind of jumped in and out of it a couple times. Did a little bit of over trading, but not too bad. I actually switched over to IWM after a bit, just because on here I'm trading now 5 micros, which it adds up a lot in those contracts and the fees coming in and out of them. Each one's I think $3 on an in and out trades. If you do 5 of them, you're doing that multiple times, just like, whoa, it adds up quite a bit. So fewer contracts. I can do this mini on the IWM, which is RTY, and that has the same notional value. It's 100 grand in notional value, same as 5 of the micros. So IWM moves a little different. Sometimes they follow, but sometimes it's kind of a little different. IWM is the Russell 2000, and this one's actually already had its full bear rally, it looks like, up to that head and shoulders. So this is kind of what I was expecting on SPY. So either SPY's lagging or SPY's not going to fully get it. So this is kind of the shoulder right now on SPY. So it's got a ways to go to come up to that shoulder that the R2K hit. So if SPY does keep kind of grinding up there, I don't know if R2K will just kind of slowly come up with it and not break out. Because as you see, this is sold off more compared to the S&P. S&P's kind of held up into more of a better looking bull flag. So maybe it'll just kind of come up to that resistance. But this is kind of what I was expecting for SPY before the next leg down in the bear market. So for SPY to do that, it has to first fill this gap 406, and then 413 would basically be the next shoulder. But there is also gaps up here in the 420 area. So we'll see. But anyways, yeah, I flipped over to trading some IWM. Not sure if I'll do that or not. We'll see. Yeah, it's the RTY futures. But Yes, this morning GME also, I got bullish on it. Lots of volume in the first hour. It was looking good. So if you see this volume stick right here, 1.8 million in that first hour. That's the most volume we've had since 11/10, since kind of the beginning of the month. And that was kind of a big gap up day and a bullish day. So I thought, you know, it's Tuesday. This was kind of the last day, or not the last day, but we're expecting a rally. It would have been most likely today or tomorrow. But I was less expecting a rally just because I was more bearish on the SPY and thinking if the SPY was going to dump, I don't think it'll happen. But then my thesis kind of flipped on the SPY this morning. And so then it also flipped on GME, because just seeing how bullish GME was also made me think, okay, but both of them are showing strength. So yeah, so now today though, what's kind of interesting, first of all, this hourly is beautiful little bull flag there. Look at that, perfect. Today I'm surprised that GME is not a big day. It's 3%. Based on this morning, I would have thought today would have easily been a 10-15% day on GME. Mostly because of it being a Tuesday after OPEX, with the SPY being bullish, and given this time frame of kind of this close to our last peak, just in this cycle where we usually double top a resistance zone that they don't let it break through. So to see kind of a small rally day today is, to me, seems quite unusual. But I could be wrong. We still have 30 minutes left. I suppose it could still rip. But I think it's setting up. We might have a big day tomorrow, honestly. Because if it wasn't going to, in my opinion, if they weren't going to have to roll over and do whatever they have to do during these cycles, then today they probably would have dumped it. They would have kept dumping it like they did yesterday. Yesterday was down 8%, low volume today. Well, actually, volume wasn't too low yesterday. They did have some volume on it, 4.4. Today actually might be less volume than yesterday. Wow. So getting a little poppy here. So yeah, kind of surprised that they're not having a big move today, and maybe it'll come tomorrow or maybe Friday on the half day. But yeah, anyways, I jumped into some weeklies, some debit spreads. SPY was quite squeezy today, not up a whole lot, but pretty good amount, 1.25%. And there were moments where it just kind of was getting, yeah, poppy, and where GME was just subdued for some reason. So we'll see. Maybe it's building up all this pressure and it's going to release in the last 30 minutes or in after hours. But yeah, it is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's just post split price action is different now. Now they can, you know, after a big 8% day, or the range is just so tight. That's kind of what I was thinking this morning. Like, we're not getting our big run up that we were expecting. But we are getting some kind of a run, which is weird, you know. So I'm just wondering if it's now low enough into the kind of the demand zone that, because the range is so tight that they can't, you know, they can't have another 8% day or 10% day, because it's just, there's too much buying pressure. I'm not sure. It is kind of peculiar to me though, today's price action. It looks bullish. It looks bullish for the next rest of the week at least, especially with how the SPY is looking bullish as well, breaking all the resistances and jumping up into that 400. Yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of crazy. There you go. There's some volume. There's some movement. Yeah, again, Mike, we might see it at the end of the day. I don't know. UNG. So I played UNG also. Had longs on that. That made a nice move today. This thing, the ticks are crazy. It's only like 50 grand in notational value, but just the way the percentages this moves and the tick size, like, it's a big swing. So I closed my longs on this one. I was in and out a couple times. Actually got stopped out like here, went back long, and then I think I closed somewhere here. Went back long here. I don't think I rode that down. I maybe did, but I hope I didn't. I'm trying to just stick with a long-term trend. Back long here. Well, stopped out here actually on this little wick. Too tight of a stop. Went back long here, and then closed in here, and then back along here. Yep, I was in and out. That's right, in and out lots. It just moved so crazy the other day from Freeport news that I feel like it's just gonna go crazy at some point. I read that it's rallying in anticipation of that opening back up. So maybe when it opens back up, it will dump on the news, or maybe it'll keep rallying because it's actually open. I'm not sure. But GME is looking nice there. And yeah, here are the futures trade. So this, like today's trading on futures, this is probably, I mean, I can look at the statement. It's probably like $50 in fees and commissions. Mostly, let's see, mostly commissions than fees because it's just a lot of margin. But yeah, there's oh, and then one other thing. So on the mini Russells, I tried doing that kind of spread. So I was long, or I was short on the December and then went long on the January, but you have to look at the contracts because if it's, or on March, was it March? Yeah, I think it was March, somewhere in here. You have to look at the contracts because the further dated ones might not move the same, and it wasn't moving at all. I was like, what's going on? So I actually looked at that chart and I'm like, yeah, the further dated ones are not moving. So I ended up closing it and it didn't really work. I think if the futures contracts are within, like if it's like monthly and not quarterly, it'll probably move more consistently with each other. But yeah, it didn't work to do that trick with the R2K. So I have no positions right now. I'll probably try and go back long on, geez, SPY is just freaking squeezing again, breaking that resistance. GME's trying to go with it some. That UNG or SPY? Oh, that's UNG. I'll probably try and dip by maybe SPY instead of Russell, just because. Whoa, holy crap. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like on the Russell, I actually had a short. I was long on it, did well, closed it out, went short here, and then Bullard was speaking, but for some reason he wasn't bearish and he didn't say anything, so the market liked it. Dang, look at this thing rip. So I actually closed, I wrote a short all the way up to here, took a loss and went long, and then closed that out. I was like, I should stop trading it, and then look at that thing go, holy crap. But anyways, yeah, I'll be dip buying UNG in the futures as well as probably IWM. After hours, you know, slowly scale in, maybe one before bed, maybe one in the morning, try and just get them on the cheap. UNG moved up, natural gas moved up a lot, so it's almost back up to that kind of high it hit before. Yeah, so and there's GME, and then on the futures, or on the options, I opened up spreads on GME, just some weeklies. 27-30 call debit spreads. So when you do spreads, you're not really buying and selling volatility as much, or IV, because it's a spread. It's more closely related to just shares, the way it moves. So that's why it's nicer to me to trade, because I'm not trying to time it so much with like a volatility spike with a big green candle and trying to sell it right then. It moves kind of slower and more natural with the stock price. So that's what I like about spreads, as well as if the IV is already high. And then I actually bought shares of Helbiz. The CEO bought almost $1 million worth of shares, which is pretty significant. CEOs, like, they make pretty good money, but that's a huge amount. I like that space anyways. Of course, we have a huge birds position, which I think is actually, birds is, just from a rough overview of it, it looks like birds is actually valued much cheaper right now, but not to say Helbiz won't outperform it and fetch a higher stock price. Yeah, so open up those. Actually, I did cover calls in GME today also, and closed them. Once it looked bullish, I took a small loss on them, but could have held on because it ended up just chilling out way more than I thought today was going to be. Still 20 minutes to go, I guess. BBBY, it did a move up to a little bit, not much. Yeah. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. See you on Discord. Peace out.